So guys, we're going to go ahead and introduce our players. Rance, take it away.
In the red, spawning at the 12 o'clock position as Zerg, and the reigning champion in game point position right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way with that, didn't I? It's okay, Suppy, I just think you're that good. It's Suppy in the red, and he's not at game point, and he's not the reigning champion. But he still made it to the finals, so props to you, sir.
Absolutely. His ZVT that we saw in those other games was impressive.
Stellar, yeah. In the yellow, the true champion and dynasty holder in the rundown, winning the first 3 rundowns consecutively. Our current champion, viOLet.
Yeah, I mean, viOLet having 3 of these under his belt already, definitely the guy to beat. And Suppy not showing the best play in these first 2 games. He had that 11 pool in game 1. I really thought he was going to do a lot of damage with it. And, you know, he just kind of missed that window just by just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And in game 2, showing the 11 pool straight up. And I think he's doing it again, man. And there it is again.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, again, I mean, there's something to be said for sticking to your guns when you know or you think you've got a good build. But on the other hand, if you're not doing the damage that you need to with that build, it's kind of a scary place to be. It looks like viOLet was actually planning for that 15 hatch. Saw that go down and said, ho, I guess I'm going to throw down a 14 pool and then go get my gas after. So viOLet put in a position that he probably super didn't want to be in.
He's squeezing in a little bit of eco, though. He brought it up to 15 before he put his gas down, too. So you can see viOLet with a few extra drones out on the field. Meanwhile, Suppy with the early gas, and he's got the drones straight in, straight away.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll have to see if Suppy can do some damage with this time. Suppy only behind by 1 in the drone count right now, so not a huge deal. But, of course, his pool is about to finish up. His pool already finished, I'm sorry. His queen already on the way. And still mining gas. So, again, going for an aggressive opening. You know, we'll have to see. viOLet actually pulled all his guys except for he's got 2 on gas. Okay, this is actually a build I haven't seen before in this matchup. So I'm learning just like the rest of you guys with the 2 on gas there. Might see that Baneling Nest go down. Yes, there it is. Or Roach Horn going down, excuse me. I thought we'd see the Baneling Nest because he hit 50 gas. But no, sending those Zerglings out. Going to be a little bit aggressive with those. And Suppy starting to build those Lings as well.
All right. Well, I'm really kind of at a loss of why Suppy would try to bang his head into the wall for the 3rd time with that same 11 build. What I'm hoping is that there's a permutation of it that he's got that we have yet to see. And maybe he's also banking on viOLet doing something different this time.
Oh, and look at this.
There we go.
Suppy actually just goes ahead and expands, so definitely a different build. But viOLet has not actually gotten speed yet. And I think now that his Roach Horn is finished, he's going to make a lot of roaches. Like I have this feeling
spotting that expansion would totally prompt it.
I have this feeling that, I mean, we're going to see, yes, and there we go. 6 roaches on the way. The Queen Spitz has foregone Zergling speed in order to just get a ton of roaches out super quickly. And, I mean, Suppy, that expansion I don't think is going to be up for very long unless he can really get a huge number of Zerglings out to defend. He does have quite a stream going. He's going to see that there's no expansion and pop up, but there's a ton of roaches there, and that does not feel good. His speed has finished.
Well, at least he might be able to pull off a run by here, if you know, and maybe that's what he's got to do. Maybe he's got to sit here with these Zerglings and just make sure those roaches don't push.
Oh, and it looks like viOLet doing the smart move. Of course, the problem with pushing with roaches, Rance, is that roaches are very slow. And if I take these roaches and I move them all the way here, my main can be counterattacked by Zerglings. And the Zerglings can probably still get back home in time to defend. So he's just getting out those roaches, says, you're not going to do any damage with your 11 pool. And I'm going to go ahead and expand myself. But the Roach Horn on the way for Suppy. He did take that expansion earlier than his opponent. So I really like this deviation in his build. I think it's a fantastic choice.
Well, hopefully Suppy is able to swing by his opponent here real quick now that this second is up. And I completely agree with you here, Gwin. You know, this is actually really nice, similar to the NFL where you line up with a certain lineup. And you run 3 different plays out of it, you know, and this is a different variation of it. Unfortunately, viOLet didn't really take the bait, I don't think. He certainly didn't go on any kind of roach all in to try to get rid of that expansion or anything like that. He's still very disciplined And he's sitting back here. Even with all the zergling aggression that's going on around him, he doesn't care. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to poach out a little bit with these roaches, but he wants to make sure he's still covering his ramp, of course. He doesn't want to have a big run-by go through. But Suppy just running his lings around. He was raging out for a little bit on that Mink statue, and now putting a little bit of pressure on the Overlord with the roaches to cover. I mean, that's such smart play out of viOLet. But Suppy droning up quite a bit, got his own roaches started. We'll have to see what he decides to do. 8 drones on the way. So definitely, definitely starting that drone. Let's take a look at the units real quick. We actually have 34 drones to 25, so Suppy in the lead on that. viOLet getting that +1 attack for his roaches, though, and 5 more roaches in production, so we might see a big push here out of viOLet. He hasn't droned up this expansion at all, just opting to stay on this this 1 1/4 base play, where he's using that extra hatch for the production and not much else. And I think we're going to see a huge push here out of viOLet. He is swelling in supply.
I like that killer instinct out of viOLet here. He knows he's 1 victory away from the championship here in rundown number 4, and he wants to keep the dynasty going. And this is what we see. I love it, man. I hope he does push. I hope there is some type of aggression that comes out here. But if we know anything from what we've seen from viOLet before, that's not generally what he does.
I don't know,
so
man.
This will be a departure from what happens usually when he goes to do this. Oh, excellent work right there by these roaches. Going to completely deny any kind of possible counterattack from those zerglings, and the roaches are going to start making their way across here. Let's see what the response is.
Big question, of course, is Suppy going to have enough to do this? Looks like he was going up there maybe for a third. Is going to have to cancel that, if at all. He's got 2 spines, so he has the advantage with that, but these roaches coming on in, there's a superior number from viOLet, but these spines doing so much damage. Suppy doing some pretty good micro. His reinforcement roaches coming. Suppy making tons of zerglings, but the zerglings are going to get 2-shotted by these roaches, and they're stuck behind anyway. I think Suppy's going to hold this, though.
Very nice, Suppy. He's got the concave, and he's got the numbers now.
Do not overextend. He needs to pull back, though. Does not want to overextend and lose all these injured roaches.
Yeah, they are pretty low, bro.
viOLet has some pretty good micro, but it looks like Suppy, finally deciding to pull back. That is definitely the smart move, and taking a third. Oh, Suppy, you might be coming back in this game. In this series, rather.
I'm liking his verve here. I'm liking his resolve right now. He timed it out perfectly, and he's giving viOLet a taste of his own medicine there as he saw the attack coming and brought out the perfect amount of units to deny it.
Absolutely. I mean, viOLet going for that big all-in. Let's see. I mean, what is viOLet producing? He's still on roaches. He's up at 13, and he is doing nothing but produce more roaches. So, I mean, he has droned up. He's up at 44 drones. But, I mean, he's gearing up to be aggressive, it looks like, again. And getting the +1 armor as well as roach speed now that his lair has finished up.
Brief supply cap there for viOLet, uncharacteristic of him. Sort of paused his production ability there for a second. But it looks like he's back on track now. You can see a little bit of action taking place down on the minimap there, but trust me when I say it's taken care of. A lot of roaches out back there.
To me, I mean, that's the kind of choice that, as a Zerg player, what you do is you make the choice to say, I'm going to sack some Zerglings in so I can see his saturation.
How many he's got out there.
Because looking at this, for instance, looking at how many drones your opponent has at each location will tell you a lot about what they're going to do. I mean, Suppy got the read, saw there were no drones at the expansion, and said, you're about to try and do a huge push because you have not made drones. So I need to make units. And he made the perfect amount of units, like we saw, to hold that off.
Looks like viOLet's drone's heading down to the 3rd to try to put one down, but that beautiful Zergling, great habit to have by Suppy, and he denies the perfect timing of the 3rd again.
The drone does survive, though, so the drone will get to drop its hatch. And Suppy going to do a little bit of scouting with his Overseer. His lair has finished up. Says, okay, I see what's up there. I see your big roach ball. I see that they're moving with the speed roach speed, so I know that you've got speed. His speed about halfway done, a little more than halfway done, and +2 attack, finishing up for Suppy before it does for viOLet.
Check this out also, man. You've got a slight drone lead there for viOLet on 2 base.
But a big army supply lead for Suppy. So.
And there's a 3rd hatchery there that's going to be able to outproduce here in a second. Big engagement here at the natural expansion, though, and all these roaches from viOLet are going to try to do it. However, that +2 is starting to come in handy here. Is it hit yet? What am I watching?
It is not hit yet, but the concave for Suppy so much better than it was for viOLet. viOLet going to have to pull back. bled a lot of supply in that attack.
Sure.
I really think that once he saw the concave there, should have pulled back and just kind of not gone for it. And this will allow Suppy to put a lot of pressure on this third if he wants to. Yes, look at this, rallying roaches down. You know, where are those rally to? Let's check where his hatch is. Oh, no, that was just a custom rally. So he's just going for it at this point, and I think that Suppy has the right read on the situation.
Yeah,
he definitely has the numbers.
Very
he's
nice
fighting roach v roach battles in all kinds of places. And, I mean, this creep spread is only going to help Suppy get a great surround. Oh,
yes.
My goodness. Look at this. Queen's going down for viOLet. Roach is pressing in for Suppy. Drone's getting pulled.
Bring it, Suppy!
And this could be the end of viOLet in this game.
Get back into the game, son!
Suppy going up in supply as he continues to macro despite losing forces in this attack. And viOLet GG. We will not have a 3-0 in our finals. Suppy like brings the pain back.
Right. I'm watching the Packer game right now. Damn it. I only get loud for the Packers and for people who beat viOLet when he's the dynasty. Suppy taking down the third round. That means we got another round coming to this grand final here, the rundown, and you guys thought it would be over.
Absolutely, man. I mean, viOLet.